I'm Joanna Garzilli. You're watching Tarot News, giving you a multidimensional view. And what caught my eye this morning was the Facebook dating app and the idea of what does this mean? Can you find your soulmate on Facebook, on this app? Is it the place to do it? We're going to pull some tarot cards from the Rider-Waite deck to find out. And so here's the thing. The advantage of using the tarot cards is that we get past our judgments, our criticism of certain things, especially new things. And what I see so far about this Facebook dating app is very mixed. So I want to just dive into that. And what I did first as well, I just want to just reference here. My news source is from Wired magazine, or Wired, what do you call it? Wired publication by Louise Matsakis. And her headline is, Facebook dating is now available in the US. Here is how it works. So, I mean, how does it work? I don't really think that it's just like any other dating app, from Tinder to Bumble. But let's just see, is this going to be really effective? And the pros and cons. All right, here we go. I'm going to just do a spread here. I'm spreading instead of... I'm spreading instead of cutting. All right. So I am being drawn to the center here. I'm going to pick, oh, there's two cards coming. I was going to go for one, but there's a second card here. So let's just start off with this card. And then I just want you to take a look. Nick, can you just see how that one is just peeking out? So there's something here where this is like the big picture, and then this is the subtle energy underneath. There is a card here where we need to look at the subtle energy for those of you here. See, it's just peeking out. All right, here we go. So the card is, I'm going to show it to you first. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. Well, Facebook won't be too happy with this. We've got the Tower card. For anyone who's familiar with the Tower card, for anyone who has seen Live and Let Die, where Jane Seymour is Roger Moore's love interest, and, you know, she does all her tarot thing. Yeah. You get the idea of what the Tower card is. Now, sometimes, and I always like to put a positive focus on the cards, not go to a negative here. I feel that for this Facebook dating app, it's going to be rife with problems for Facebook. I know we're talking about, will you find your soulmate on here? I'm going to get to that in a second, but I need first to go to say, like, I feel that whatever is happening internally at Facebook, this is something where they are sort of jumping on the wagon to try and reinvigorate themselves, because from what I read in this Wired article here, a lot of people are dropping off. People who are in their 20s are tired of Facebook. They've had enough. And I know there's all the integrations with Instagram, but it just feels like whatever Facebook is hoping for Facebook to be reinvigorated, to have really get a new lease of life, this dating app is not the way to do it. So that's on sort of like on the business, bigger picture with Facebook. I feel like that from finding your soulmate, I am predicting that there's going to be more of a resurgence, going back to sort of like how we see cycles in fashion and music. Last night, my son was playing Fortnite. He picked this emote and he's like, oh, this is really cool. I said, Dominic, that's the Charleston dance. He's like, what's the Charleston? I said, that's a dance from the 1920s. Now, so I feel like a lot of people they're gonna get sick and tired of these dating apps. Some people are gonna use them. Of course, you can find love on it using an algorithm, using data. I just feel that there will be a resurgence in going back to meeting people in a classic, simple way. Like when you're out and about doing stuff, maybe you have a certain hobby and you get to meet someone in an organic way, sort of like how I met you, Nick, right? In sketch comedy. So with this, I overall do not feel great about this app. Let's see what we've got next here. We have the Fool. So so with this card here, the Fool is typically a positive card. It does represent new beginnings, and I think that what this says to me, that again, over a period of time, this will, the app will, obviously it's the power of Facebook, it will stabilize, it will be here to stay. It'll just be another thing in the market. But is the Facebook dating book innovative? Is this the way to meet your soulmate? Can you meet your soulmate on there? Again, just sort of like how it's an algorithm, it's a numbers thing. Some people will find their soulmate on it, but in terms of finding that true love, it just feels like a small percentage. And I feel the reason for that being is it's not so much the problem sometimes with the dating apps, whether it be, across the board, not just Facebook, Tinder, any of these apps, but it comes down to the people who are using the app, and about, we don't have control. There's a certain lack of control of getting people to use the app in an integrity, to be in integrity online with what they're sharing in their dating profile, what they really like, because, people are going to know, okay, Facebook is collecting all my data. It's going to go in a certain direction. I want to paint this particular picture. And so they're not going to necessarily, you're not going to be able to rely on the app, but you're going to have to go through that idea of you kiss your princes and your princesses, or rather, sorry, your frogs. You kiss those frogs to find your prince or your princess, to find that true love. So I'm going to just sort of just bring this to a conclusion and say that Facebook dating isn't going to stick around. It's going to work. Yes, it'll carry through. It'll overcome its challenges. People will use it because they're a giant. I would encourage anyone who is looking to meet their soulmate to go back to traditional dating and say, what is a hobby? What is something that you love doing? Whether it's an art class, whether it is, I don't know, going and hiking, like something where you can go and meet someone in person, maybe in a more of a group situation. So let's see. Overall, not loving this app, feeling it's not going to be fantastically received. It's going to take a while to warm up. And just, there are other ways to find true love. Go back to the classic of that. If you are interested in understanding about what is holding you back from finding true love, because it always goes back to oneself. It's not the app that is the problem, it is ourselves. Then you can reach out to me, DM me, or email joanna@joannagarzilli.com to find out more about getting a personal reading, a soulmate reading. When is that love coming in for you? How do you bring that love in? Because I'm telling you, when you work on yourself and you do the inner work, you do line up and meet that person who is right for you. And so when we use the tarot cards, we look at the strengths and weaknesses. Nothing is ever set in stone. It is just showing you the subtle energies of what is occurring within you. And then we go, here are your strengths, bravo, amplify those. Here are your things that aren't so great. Work on practicing on not doing those things that are maybe impulsive, compulsive, sabotaging you in some way. I was a disaster in dating until I met my husband. I mean, an absolute disaster. Goodness help me if I had to do online dating. It would have been absolutely hell. And Nick and I have been together for many years now. So I've managed to overcome all my self-sabotaging problems in relationships, although I may irritate him from time to time, but I drive myself crazy sometimes. Less and less now as I do more of the inner spiritual work. So you can do intuitive readings that start at 15 minutes. We can do it on the phone. If you are in Los Angeles and you would love to come to our home in West Hollywood, we can sit down, we can have a tea, we can have a coffee. I can do tarot for you. And the last thing that I will add here is I'm an author of 3 books. The book behind me is Big Miracles, published by HarperCollins, deep spiritual stuff, and really goes into principles there of how to live spiritually. The thing is, the book works if you practice the principles, not if you just read the book. You've got to put it into practice. There's another book I wrote called Unleash the Psychic in You, and that's because we all have the gift of intuition. The more you practice using your intuition, it's a muscle, your clairvoyance, being able to see, being able to hear. Again, I'm using different intuitive abilities when I'm reading from the tarot. The tarot is just a nice demonstrative tool, but I don't need the tarot to do that. So that's really a great book to use as well, because there's practical exercises. And lastly, we have here Scarlet's Confession, Tales of a British Psychic, which was loosely based on my life. And basically it's if she's a wonderful psychic, why is her life a mess? Yes, that was me. I was really good at giving help to others and not being able to help myself. It's full of spiritual wisdom in a fun way. It's quite naughty as well. I do warn you, there is sex in it. So if you have an issue with reading anything to do with sex, you do not want to pick up Scarlet's Confession, because there is stuff in there. And some people think, oh, well, how can you be spiritual and have sex? Well, I mean, we do have kids. We live in a world where there is that. So, and her thing is that she was doing a psychic show. Back then, for me, it was called Psychic Interactive. And the studio was shared with porn producers. And you were just going to have to read the book to find out more. It was slightly crazy. It is fictionalized, but of course, as an author, it is loosely based on my own life. Everything's calmed down now. So thank you for watching Tarot News. And I want to hear from you as well. Please, I want to hear from you about, what are the challenges that you've gone through in love? Are there any questions you have about soulmates, about karmic soulmates, about twin flames, about how you know if this person is for you? Because some people, they're in the midst of dating and they want to know, do I invest more time in this relationship, or do I quit while I'm ahead? Or do I stick with this even though this person is driving me up the wall? Do I stick with it because maybe I'm the issue rather than them? I can help you gain deep insight into that. And of course, when I'm doing a reading with you, it is very heartfelt. Sometimes when I do stuff here on video, I'm a little bit more playful. Just know I'm really sincere in my hope for you. If you have not already met your soulmate, to meet your soulmate. And if you're in a relationship already, and especially if you're married, do not sabotage your relationship. Reach out to me before you go and cheat on someone, or before you cheat on your partner, or before you decide to leave the relationship. Okay, because there's a lot of karma that gets associated with that. I'm Joanna Garzilli. You have been watching Tarot News. Today our topic was the Facebook dating app, and can you find your soulmate using it? Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe to Tarot News and Joanna Garzilli, and I'm sending you lots of love. Till next time.